What's up? What's up? What's up, family? What's up? Hello and welcome back to another pop-up. This is actually, I shouldn't call it another because I don't do these all the time. I don't do these all of the time. Stumbling over my words a little bit, a little tongue-tied. But anyway, happy Friday to you, family. Welcome to those of you that will be watching this video on demand, or welcome to those of you that will be watching this video live, and welcome to those of you that are watching this on demand. I am going to, today I'm going to be talking about, I'm your host. Y'all, hold up. Let me take a step back and let me come back forward. Let me jump back in. Okay, now let's try this again. Hello and welcome to a special Friday pop-up edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. Today we're going to be talking about, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. As you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about some thoughts on women's Olympic boxing controversy. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of people talking about that. It's been trending for me since yesterday. So I'm going to be talking about that today. This is just a pop-up edition. I'm not going to be on here long because I got a hot topic coming up later this evening. Today's date is Friday, August the 2nd, 2024, and you're watching Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. So I'm going to take just a moment to allow a few people to come into the room because I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this. Again, this is not going to be a long video today. I'm going to share with you a small segment of the video. It's a news segment that I'm going to be showing off one of the YouTube news channel sites or whatever. And then I'm going to give some thoughts on that. And then I'm going to switch up and I'm going to end on a lighter note because there's a lot of people that are kind of up in their feels about what happened in that early round Olympic ladies boxing match between an Italian by the name of Angela Carini and a woman from Algeria by the name of, what was her name? Let me grab that really quick off this other page. I believe her name was Imame Khelif, okay? So I'm going to be talking about that in just a moment. But as I do with all of my editions of Maddie's Rap, I'm going to start with a little bit of music. So this will be streaming off of YouTube's platform. So YouTube, if you're going to throw a little copyright warning in there, just know I'm just sharing it off your own platform that we're on right now, okay? All right, give me just a moment, family. We're going to play a little music, and when we come back, we're going to get this thing on and popping, okay? You're watching Maddie's Rap, special Friday afternoon edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. I'm going to start with a little Talib Kweli. This is one of my favorite MCs from back in the day, and this is Talib Kweli featuring Jean Grey with the title Say Something, all right? And I think this is very fitting for this video. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is going to end on a positive note because, again, I'm going to show y'all why. A lot of people have asked me to speak on this, and y'all know when y'all are asking me to do something, y'all want the abstract opinion on it. So I tend to come with the abstract. The mainstream media says something else. I tend to look for the story within the story and present to you guys what I found, okay? And I'll be doing nothing any different than that today. But let me start with some music, little Talib Kweli. I'm going to share this to the screen, and I'm going to take a little break. And hopefully I'll be back by the end of the song. I'm going to jump in it, and hopefully we'll be done with this in 30 minutes or less, all right? So let's get it started. Let me share the screen here. Welcome to those of you that are watching this live, and welcome to those of you that are watching on demand. You're watching a special pop-up edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. Here we go.
The year is 1975.
I'll be right back, family. And this song for y'all with sensitive ears, it has a little bit of profanity in it, all right? So just be forewarned, okay?
Put your hands in the air. Get your hands in the air.
I'm going to step away for a moment, fam. I'll be right back.
Say something. Dare you say something. The Lord Chief Rocker, I'm colder than meat lockers. My people keep throwing it up like cheap vodka. Smack internet MCs and beat bloggers. You can see my black thought like Greek Trotter is deep. Go ahead and sleep, they know in the street. Guapo and flow on the beat proper. Composing complete opposites. More than a cigar, this Godfather. Tapping too hard, chopping some harder than God stoppers. People coming for the throne, not knowing the seat. Hotter than fish grease, criminal names of police blotters. You convince me. I hit targets and top shotters out in the Mid-East like Muslims taking shahada. I'm saying, making the profit, the product of Reaganomics. Awaken them, staying conscious to radio playing ain't garbage. Yeah, blacksmith music, if you don't pay homage, I'ma show you how we break an artist. That's a threat, I'm not making a promise. Speak to the people like Barack Obama. They war shit like Black Madonna. Come on, niggas talk shit, but they ain't got skills. I'm the type of nigga to pull out in your grill. Number 2, pencil is sharp in the bruise, mental sand beating in my chest at the heart of a true gentleman. Still spit right in your face. Fucking top eight, back up, give me my space, you're not safe. Yeah, they say I'm back. I ain't go nowhere though. Been here the whole time. Yes. Where you been? You back. Matter of fact, apologize. Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. Say something. Say something. Say something.
Yeah, open your mouth, say something, I fucking dare you. Choking you out till you can't suck in the air through. Fuck with your man too, thinking I can't do what I plan to. Vet FanDuel, niggas are brand new. He knew I was bad news, look at the tattoos. You ran through like you was fingers to Sassoon. Pour a chick in the bathroom, the backstage room. Shit you couldn't imagine, nigga, I harass you. Harass Cassie, soul on ice and body cast through. Pass through, Gene and Quad, the last 2 action heroes. Actually have the capacity to be the ones in the class of zeros. Hop's not dead, he's on vacation. We back, we bask in the confrontation. You can ask me, have any conversation. You talk shit, blacksmith, Gene, I'm fake, nigga.
Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. What? Talk shit now. Say something. Say something. Say something. Dare you say something. We not falling for your trick, cause your image is like a gimmick. Forget it, every rhyme is picking you like a mimic. I'm talking to the Lord and I'm asking him for forgiveness just for kicking niggas out the club like Michael Richards. Yeah, I admit it, I'm guilty. The way I spit it is filthy. I keep it gritty so they get it. They feel me, the flow is known for touching the soul of street hustlers. I speak in the language they know, I treat customers. The writing therapeutic is due to the pain and suffering while these dudes.
All right, family, let's take it on down. Let's take it on down. Let's take it on down. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get it started. Let's get it crunk. Here we go. All right, let me turn that off. All right, welcome to those of you that are watching this video live, and welcome to those of you that are watching on demand. You are watching a special Friday afternoon pop-up edition of Maddie's Rap, where what I got? What's this pop-up? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Okay, get them pop-ups off my screen. I don't like pop-ups. I do not like pop-ups, all right? Unless I ask for it, and I didn't ask for it. Anyway, family, what's up? Welcome to y'all. Hopefully, y'all are having a happy Friday afternoon. Hopefully, y'all have had a great week, and you're getting ready to slide into the weekend and do your thing. Hopefully, you're gonna rest. Hopefully, you're gonna chill, because that work week will wear you down. So hopefully, you are using the weekend to recharge. All right. Now, what are we talking about today, family? We are talking about thoughts on the women's Olympic boxing controversy, where a fighter from Algeria stopped a smaller fighter from Italy in less than a minute, all right? And it wasn't a stoppage, a knockout type of stoppage. It was a stoppage where the fighter was like, nah, I'm done. I quit. You're not hitting me with that. Her words after the match were, I've never been hit so hard in my life. That was not right. Now, I got some thoughts on that, but before I share my thoughts on it, I want to share with you guys a segment of, just so you guys can kind of see what the punch looked like. Now, she got hit pretty hard, but the punch didn't daze her. It didn't take her down. So I was already kind of looking at that with the, scratching my head a little bit, but I'm not trying to, there's enough polarity out there on this right now. Y'all know how I do it. I like to stay in the middle, all right? I like to stay in the middle as much as possible. I like to balance the energy as much as possible. Perhaps that's my first house Libra. I don't know. Here we go. Let me show this, all right? Let me share it with you guys. Let me bring it up on the screen. So for those of you that have not seen it, this is a segment. Now, there's some people out there with the full fight, but y'all know how YouTube is when people got full fights up there and such, and they're not licensed to whatever. YouTube will usually scrub those videos and knock them down. I don't want my video to be affected by me sharing a full fight video. So therefore, I'm not going to show you the full fight video that I found on YouTube. I will show you this one from the Today Show, okay? So I'm showing this under fair use. It's going to show the punch. Now, I did not want to show the full post-fight interview with the Italian fighter who lost, who pretty much surrendered the fight. It's like, I'm done. The one who quit didn't want to fight anymore. And I understand why she didn't, but that's neither here nor there. I didn't want to show it because for some people that have sensitive moon signs, it could put them in their feels a little bit. And I'm actually going to talk about what I think the overall is with this, okay, at the end. So if you want to see it, you guys can jump on there. You can look up Tunisia versus Italy women's boxing, or you can look up Angela Carini versus Imame Khelif or whatever. And, you can look at the description box here and see what the actual spelling of her name is. But if you type it in, YouTube's or Google's gonna give you the correct spelling anyway. So let me chill with the verbosity and get this clip on the screen for y'all. All right. Thank you to those of you who are watching this live. I know that this was not previously announced. This is a pop-up edition. So join me tonight, because I'm going to be talking about some hot topics tonight for those of you who are my returning subscribers. All right. Now let's get this on the screen here, fam. Just 1 second here.
Italian fighter Angela Carini abruptly withdrawing from her match against Algeria's Imame Khelif after just 46 seconds and some hard punches. Khelif's participation in the women's matches has been under renewed scrutiny. She was disqualified from last year's World Championships after the International Boxing Association said she failed a gender eligibility test. The International Olympic Committee saying this morning that all the athletes in the tournament comply with the competition's regulations.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show.
Okay, so I'm so tempted to pull up just a segment so you guys can see a little bit of that fight. I don't know. You know what? Because this isn't a timeless video. Maybe I'll risk it. Maybe I'll show it to you guys. This isn't a timeless video, so give me a second here. Let me see if I can't bring that up for you. All right, I'm gonna share it. What the heck? This is not a timeless video, so if they take this down, then you know what? It was current events, or current at the time it was current. All right. So I'll show y'all this little bit of this segment, and then I'm gonna give you some thoughts, and then I'm gonna show you a video of a doctor explaining kind of what happened and why it happened, and just providing a backdrop that is a little bit on the other side of the controversy that you're hearing, because there are a lot of people up in arms right now about this controversial fight, okay, or lack thereof. It wasn't much of a fight at all. But anyway, I'll get on to that. Give me 1 second. Let me bring this back up on the screen and share it for you guys. Hey, what's up, Allie? Thank you for joining. Nice to see you here. Allie, I'm going to be back on tonight at 8:30, so that's the one you don't want to miss, definitely. But anyway, let me keep this going. All right, so I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to skip. I'm showing this under fair use, as fair as it can get for, this is somebody named Coach D. He's got 480 subscribers. Shout out to you, Coach D, for finding this clip. Let me see if I can't get this, showing this to you guys. All right, I'm going to try to skip ahead here a little bit and get into where the fight starts. Okay. She gets down the middle of the ring, starts crying, okay? And that's it. If you guys want to see any more about that, you can kind of look it up and you want to get into it. Now, let me give you some thoughts. Now, y'all know I try to be fair. That's the number one tenet of Matt D. Talford. I try to be fair, okay? Let me say this. Susan Butler, I bet he's so proud. Yeah, Susan, I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Because I want to tell y'all, in the interest of complete transparency, I said some things when I watched this last night on my tablet. I'm lying in the bed looking at this on my tablet, and it was difficult for me to go to sleep. And I was sleepy when I got into bed. But when I looked at that, I was so angry that it was difficult for me to go to sleep. And I had some things that I was going to say on this live, but y'all know how the Most High works. Sometimes he'll show you something before you open up your mouth and put your foot in it. So I'm going to talk about that comment there, Susan, in just a minute, because I'm telling you, I was on board with you. I was definitely on board with you, but I'm going to show you another video. Now, again, let me just show you that video, because I don't want this to be super long. Let me show you guys that next video. That was tough for me to watch. It was especially tough to watch the post fight where she's crying and talking about how hard she prepared for this Olympics tournament. And I heard some commentary from other fighters like Clarissa Shields, who's a world champion, was an Olympic gold medalist twice, or Olympic medalist twice. I can't remember if both of them were gold, or if one was gold and then one was another. I don't follow Olympic boxing nearly as much as I used to back in the day. But there are a lot of people up in arms, and there's a lot of talk about, Khelif being a man. Okay, Imam Khelif being a man. And there's a lot of talk about Imam Khelif being transgender. I listened to the commentary of the doctor that I'm going to show you guys in just a moment, where the doctor said that is not true. That biologically, it is what it is. They said biologically, and on her birth certificate, she's listed biologically as a female. Now, very masculine features there. Until I heard that, I was like, a woman should not be allowed to fight a man, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to show you the commentary from this doctor. Now, that being said, in the interest of fairness, let me say this, and then I'll proceed to the doctor's video. Angela's defense, first of all, now I know a little bit about boxing. I never boxed professionally. I didn't even box amateur. I didn't make it that far. And it wasn't because I wasn't good. Okay. That was not God's will for my life. That wasn't the direction I was supposed to go in. I was actually very good at what I did. Okay. I trained for a long time, but the way God orchestrated my life, I was not allowed to actually get into the competition aspect of it. Now here, much years later, I understand why God didn't have me going into that direction. Boxing wasn't what I was supposed to do. I was born to do what I'm doing right now. Okay. I was born to be a writer. I was born to be a communicator. I was born to use my voice. I was not born to use my hands, even though I was good at it. Okay. Am good at it. I shouldn't say was, am. Okay. That's a story for another day. Anyway, that being said, Angela's defense was very suspect. It does not matter how hard somebody hits. If your defense is good, if you're not there to get hit, if you can slip punches, if you can block, if you can parry, the punches, the shots the two shots that I saw her take that made her pause, she did not even have her guard in position to block the shot. You can see a lot of times she had her hands down here. That's a no-no, especially against a taller fighter with a greater reach. So that's one. Number two, Imam is not undefeated in competition. She's not undefeated in competition. So other women have beaten her. Other women who look like women have beaten her in other fights. Okay. Let me just say that to sort of calm the energy down, because I see something going on that's spiritual. I told y'all we're in a time where there's a lot of spiritual warfare going on, and y'all know how I get down on my channel. If you're new to my channel, just scroll through some of my videos and then you'll get an idea. You don't even have to watch them all. Just look at the titles. You'll get an idea of how I get down. This is spiritual warfare. This whole uproar about that. Now, that opening ceremony, that was next level spiritual warfare, but I'm not even going to talk about that on here. Okay. I'm not, they could have called that instead of the Paris Olympics, with the way that the opening ceremony went, they could have called it the Sodom and Gomorrah Olympics. Yeah, I said that. I don't give a damn who mad. Okay. I don't. They could have called that the Sodom and Gomorrah Olympics, but I'm not going to do that. All right. That's a story for another day. Now, that being said, I was so pissed off last night. When I woke up this morning, the Spirit spoke to me in that soft voice and said, be careful of what you're giving your energy to. So I will extend that same advice to anybody watching this video. Be careful of what you're giving your energy to, and do a little bit of investigation and try to find out everything there is to find out about something before you give your energy to it. Now, let me show you what this doctor had to say. Stand by.
If you think the difference between male and female and subsequent gender identity is as simple as having or not having an X chromosome, then please stick around and watch this video to try and learn a little bit about this crazy controversy.
This is Dr. Brian Sutter, MD. This is his YouTube channel. You guys can check him out. He has about 772,000 subscribers. So I found this video. I wasn't looking for it, believe it or not. This is something that, again, when you're going to be used by the Spirit, they'll give you. That's why the scripture says, don't take no thought for what you're going to say, because he said, I'll give you what to say at that time. I wasn't looking for this video. I literally found this video about 10 minutes ago. Okay. What time is it? Well, no, about 10 minutes before this video, 10, 15 minutes before I started this video, I found this one. So that's how things work with the Spirit. The spiritual warfare, y'all pay attention. Okay. I'm showing this under fair use. Dr. Brian Sutterer.
it's going on in the Olympic world. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Suter, and my goal in this channel is to help teach you about the medical side of the sports world. I'm actually in Paris right now. I've been here for the Olympics the past week or so. You can see Paris outside my window there. It's been absolutely beautiful. But the biggest story the past couple of days has been, of course, with women's boxing. The story, of course, is that this Algerian boxer, Imame Khelif, is identifying as a woman. She's in female women's boxing, but there's a lot of talk that people saying she's a male. She's had these previous disqualifications for having XY chromosomes and failed gender testing. And so why in the world are we letting a man compete in a woman's sport, especially boxing? This is not the first time we've seen a big story like this. You might remember this track and field athlete, Caster Semenya, who was a middle distance runner who was disqualified from running certain events because of this whole differences in sexual development diagnosis and picture. This is going to be as simple as possible of an embryology or the study of how we grow and develop, genetics and physiology lesson, so I can try to open people's mind to some of these challenging discussion points. Our genes are the blueprint for how our body functions and is built and is made. We get 1/2 of our genes from our mother and 1/2 from our father. That means most humans will have 2 genes for sex. That can be either an X chromosome or a Y chromosome. Now, typically a female sex will have an X and an X chromosome, and a male sex will have an X and a Y. The contents of those chromosomes are what determine how we are going to develop either into a female, talking about sex again, or a male, again, talking about sex. So classic female sex, XX, classic male sex, XY. Now, interestingly, whenever we are first conceived in the womb, we all start off and we have the potential for our sexual organs, our gonads, to be either female or male. The presence of specific genes on the Y chromosome differentiate that down a pathway to become male. So without that Y chromosome turning on the pathway to become male, everybody would go down the female path in terms of their sexual development. So if you have a normal functioning Y chromosome that turns on the pathway to send you down to have male sexual characteristics, male genitalia, etc. That's the basic black and white kind of bread and butter of how things normally go. But as you can imagine, there are a lot of possible errors in not only the genetic composition, but also what happens from the downstream physiology standpoint. On that Y chromosome is a specific gene that turns on a lot of the testosterone, the androgen signaling pathways that form the gonads, the external and internal sexual characteristics. So we're talking about the external signs like breast, gonads, etc., versus the internal genetics. With these differences or disorders of sexual differentiation, or DSD, the genetics are XY, so you have that Y chromosome that's trying to turn on the pathway to fully have those male characteristics, but there's abnormalities that don't give the normal male gonads, male hormone profiles. So what you are left with is a very convoluted, very complicated picture of varying degrees of both physiology from a hormone standpoint to external physical characteristics that are what we see when we look at somebody to make us think male or female in the traditional sense. Oftentimes with these athletes, that results in higher levels of testosterone that gives them more of this athletic advantage. But because they have any variety of all these different genetic enzymes, testosterone, hormonal dysregulations and abnormalities, they might not have the exact same external features or what we call phenotype that would make us classically think of somebody as male or female. So you can have these individuals who might look more masculine than a female, but whenever they were born, their external genitalia wasn't clearly male or clearly female. And then you can imagine all the stress and anxiety and everything that comes downstream of that when you don't have clearly male or female features. This is not always a black and white thing. And these DSD syndromes, these disorders, are far more common than you would think. These are not like 1 in a million types of things. And if you think of an athletic population where any sort of physiologic advantage might make you rise to the top, there's actually probably a high number of these individuals that are high-level athletes because they have had that boost in their physiology. But it's no fault to them. I really encourage people to try and be open-minded and learn or read more about this, because again, it is not as simple as saying so-and-so has an X chromosome, so therefore they are male. There is a lot of potential ambiguity that is no fault to the athlete or that individual. This is a really nice little review paper on PubMed that talked.
All right, that's about enough of that. So I wanted to share that because, again, there's another side to it. And I didn't know anything about DSD prior to today. All right, I knew nothing about it. What is it? I just looked that up, actually. DSD stands for, where is it? It's somewhere in here. What is it? I just looked this up, fam. Hang on a sec. What is it? It is called Disorders of Sexual Development. That's it. Disorders of Sexual Development. I knew nothing about it until today. But that being said, let me read a little of this article, and then I'll give you some final thoughts on that. And then we're going to move on to what they used to call the Donkey of the Day on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if they still do that or not, but let me get on to this article. That was Dr. Sutterer. So y'all, or Sutterer, or however he pronounced it, y'all can check that out if you want to watch the rest of that video. Now, and I do appreciate his providing that commentary, because it helps with what I'm doing here today, which is trying to shed a little light on something that appears to be a massive energy harvest. Y'all have heard that term before if you're in the spiritual community and you know what it's all about. Okay, I'll talk about that in the end. But let me read a little bit of this article and I'll share it to the screen for you guys. Thank y'all for being here. All right. All right, this comes from the Associated Press. This is titled, "Who is Imame or Imame?" Iman, one of my boys is like, they're telling you, right? Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that path. Who is Imame Khelif, Algerian boxer? And again, y'all, I apologize. I said Tunisia earlier. Both of them are North African countries, so I got them confused. Algerian boxer facing gender outcry has had modest success before the Olympics. All right. And this article was written today. It was published today at 1:15 p.m. Eastern. All right. Algerian. This was from Villepinte, France. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I know that's not a French accent, so it sounded more Spanish. Villepinte, France. I don't know. Anyway, Algerian boxer Imame Khelif has landed in the middle of a divide about gender in sports after her Italian competitor, Angela Carini, pulled out seconds into their bout at the Paris Olympics. Outcry has come from conservatives like former U.S. President Donald Trump and Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni. Khelif was disqualified from the 2023 World Championships after failing unspecified and untransparent eligibility test for women's competition from the now banned International Boxing Association. Khelif was assigned female at birth, and it says so on her passport, which is the International Olympic Committee's threshold for eligibility for boxing, because of the rift between the sport's governing body and the IOC. Khelif is a formidable athlete with respected fighting skills, contending in top international events, including major amateur boxing tournaments over the past 6 years, such as the Tokyo Olympics. She's won a few regional gold medals. But Khelif was decidedly not known as a dominant champion, an overpowering force, or even a particularly hard puncher at her weight, not until this week in Paris. Khelif defeated Carini in just 46 seconds on Thursday, with the Italian boxer's tearful abandonment of the fight leading to innumerable portrayals of Khelif as an unstoppable punching machine whose presence threatens the health of her opponents. Again, Khelif, I sort of found the Carini's defense to be a little suspect, but I didn't see anything particularly impressive about Khelif's offense either. I've seen much better offensive female boxers, Ann Wolfe, okay, Layla Ali, and of course, Clarissa Shields. So, form-wise, I didn't see anything that looked all that scary about Khelif, other than the fact that she obviously looks a lot more masculine and feminine. But I digress. Let me continue. The reality to those who actually watch or participate in Olympic-style boxing is quite different. Here's what to know about Khelif and the controversy. Who is Imame? Khelif. Born in 1999, Khelif is from rural northwestern Algeria. Her father initially did not approve of girls participating in boxing. I kind of am not a huge fan of it either, to be honest. I mean, I know about it because I'm a fan of the sport, but women's boxing, I'd rather not see women beating each other up. That's a man's sport anyway. But Khelif said she gave up soccer as a teenager to pursue her new passion, even though she had to travel 10 kilometers each way to the gym. Khelif eventually caught the attention of Algeria's national team, making her major tournament debut in 2018 with a first-round loss at the AIBA, now the International Boxing Association, World Championships. She lost 5 of her first 6 elite-level bouts, but improved and excelled. Khelif was one of Algeria's first 3 Olympic women's boxers sent to Tokyo 3 years ago. She won her opening bout, but lost her second to eventual gold medalist Kelly Harrington of Ireland. She also raised her profile by doing well in the next 2 World Championships, and she even became a UNICEF national ambassador early this year. Why was she disqualified from the World Championships? Khelif reached the final of the 2023 World Championships before she was abruptly disqualified by the IBA, which cited high levels of testosterone in her system. The circumstances of that disqualification have been considered highly unusual ever since it happened, and Khelif called it a big conspiracy at the time. She had previously competed without issues and was disqualified by the sport's governing body only after she defeated Russian boxer Azalea Amineva in the 2023 tournament. The IBA is controlled by Umar Kremlev, who is Russian, and brought in the state-owned energy supplier Gazprom as its primary sponsor and moved much of the governing body's operations to Russia. This week, the IOC, or International Olympic Committee, described it as a sudden and arbitrary decision by the IBA in which Khelif and Lin Yu-ting of Taiwan were suddenly disqualified without any due process. Lin was suspended for failing to meet unspecified eligibility requirements in a biochemical test. The reasons for the 2 disqualifications are extremely murky, as is almost always the case with the IBA. The governing body has revealed little about the nature of the tests, including what was tested and who tested it. This lack of transparency would be unacceptable in major Olympic sports, and the IBA has been banned from the Olympics since 2019. The IOC noted Thursday that the Boxing Association's own documents say the decision was made unilaterally by the IBA's Secretary General. Those documents also say the IBA went on to resolve at a meeting that it should establish a clear procedure on gender testing after it had already disqualified the 2 fighters. Now, why is there an outcry about Khelif competing? Trump, Maloney, and others like Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling have complained about Khelif being allowed to compete. And again, I think a lot of that has to deal with social media calling her a man. And I mean, look, I'm not going to point any fingers. I did too until I learned about DSD and actually got a little bit more facts on who she is and what's on her passport and all that other stuff. So I'm not here pointing any fingers, okay? For the political far right in Italy, which has been targeting issues such as LGBTQ plus rights, Khelif's participation was just the latest evidence of woke culture. I hate how they hijack that word. Woke culture infecting sport. Maloney, who met Friday with IOC President Thomas Bach, warned ideology taken to extremes can discriminate and harm women's rights. IOC spokesman Mark Adams told reporters Friday that there has been a lot of misinformation around on social media particularly, which is damaging, end quote. Boxing in Paris is run by a special IOC-appointed unit that the Olympic body says is applying rules, including eligibility decisions that are based on the 2016 games in Rio de Janeiro following the split with the sport's governing body. The IOC insisted this week that no scientific or political consensus exists on gender and fairness issues. It gave updated guidance to sports governing bodies in 2021. Several sports bodies have updated their eligibility rules since the Tokyo Olympics were held in 2021, including World Aquatics, World Athletics, and the International Cycling Union. They all decided to bar athletes from women's events who have transitioned from male to female and went through male puberty. Wow. They all decided to bar athletes from women's events who have transitioned from male to female and went through male puberty, as they should, okay? But in the case of Khelif, it doesn't sound like she transitioned from male to female. Now, World Athletics also tightened rules last year to include testosterone testing for some athletes legally identified as female at birth, though with a medical condition that leads to some male traits. Okay. So let me give some thoughts on this as I wrap up that segment, and then we got a quick one on presidential hopeful Vice President Kamala Harris. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's the coup de grace. Okay, we'll talk about that one in a minute. But my final thoughts on this stoppage. Let me say this. I've said again. Skill-wise, I didn't see anything particularly remarkable about Khelif's skill. Now, she did catch her with a pretty hard punch, but really hard punches in boxing tend to cut. They tend to bust noses. You tend to see blood coming out of a nose after. You tend to see a lip split, or you tend to see the person stumble and stagger after getting hit with a hard shot. Was that a hard shot? Yes, but she turned away from it. She got caught. She was turning away, and yeah, that punch I'm sure hurt. But again, listen, I wasn't in there to take that punch. I don't know why she quit. She said that was the hardest punch she'd ever been hit with, and she cried. But again, y'all have seen it. That fighter who won that fight from Algeria, she's not the best ladies fighter in the world. Okay, so I want to apologize for some of the things. I didn't say it on camera, so I really don't owe anybody an apology. I apologize to myself, okay, for allowing myself to get swept up in the tide of social media banter, okay? So here's where I'm going with this, family. This seems to be the perfect storm for something political, if you will, okay? We know that we got an American presidential election coming up, and I'm sure that's going to be that is already playing into it, because we know what happened after the new administration took over 4 years ago, and what happened with sport in America, and that is to include transgender people being allowed to participate in a sport for a gender that they were not assigned at birth. Okay. And I'm not trying to get deep dive into that or get all into the politics of it, but that could play into it. Now, what I will caution again is this whole, and you heard me mention this a few minutes ago, energy harvesting. We know that there are low vibrational entities on this planet that thrive and feed off of low vibrational energy. Okay, Ali said, I was wondering if she was undefeated. No, she wasn't. It'd be different if she was undefeated and knocking people out with one punch. Okay, no, that seems to be consistent. That performance that I saw in there, and I haven't watched any of her other fights, but that performance that I saw in there seemed to be consistent with DSD versus transitioned male to a female. So all of those people, all of those guys, alphas and sigmas, I consider myself in that category. Okay, that were like, yo, man, let me add a, y'all pull up a little bit, man. Pull up. Understand what's going on. Pull up a little bit. Okay. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because this could be the type of fuel that the enemy wants to use, the low vibrational beings on this planet, to create something that creates a new outpouring of sympathy for certain groups that engage in certain acts that violate the laws of nature. Now, listen, you do you. I'm not on here telling you what to do. I've said this before. It's a touchy subject. I don't typically like to touch on. I did touch on it in June. Y'all know what month June is. So I dropped a video in June talking about this. I don't touch on this all year long because I believe, you know what? Each and every person has free will. You can do what you want. I'm not anti-alphabet gang. I'm damn sure not pro-alphabet gang, okay? What I will say, though, is I am anti-teaching alternative lifestyles to our children in the school. Parents should teach their children, okay? I don't need the state teaching my kids that this is an acceptable behavior. And I don't have children. I'm just saying. So I wanted to put that out there for anybody who wanted to label me or put me in a box and say, oh, Match, no, I just told you. I'm neither anti nor pro that group, that lobby, if you will. I am against you teaching that to the kids in school. I'll stand up on Capitol Hill and say that. I don't care. Like, nah. Listen, we pay tax money for the kids to go to public school. All right. If you're in a private school and you want to pay for your kids to go to private school and that's part of the curriculum, that's your business. But public school, I don't need to be taught in public school. But anyway, I'm digressing. What I'm saying is y'all as they used to say in church, and y'all know I'm not religious, okay? Even though I quote scripture on here, I read scripture, the Bible's not a religious book. I say it all the time. It's a spiritual book that was hijacked by the religious establishment and tried to refashion it into the doctrine of control, but people are waking up. But that's an aside, okay? What I'm saying, what I'm about to say, is something that they used to say in church back in the day. Those of y'all that know a word of prayer, y'all pray for that young lady from Algeria, okay? Because this is how ish starts. This is how bull-ish starts. Or as Deion Sanders says, this is how bull junk starts. I pray to God in heaven that nothing happens to that young lady. Listen, here's what needs to happen, in my opinion. I'm going to give y'all my opinion on it, and then I'll move on to VP Kamala Harris, okay? What I feel like needs to happen is, listen, yeah, it ain't your fault that you were born with DSD or something like that, but I feel like there should be some type of testing or something where if you are on that fringe or you've been diagnosed with DSD and you have more masculine features that give you an advantage, a clear advantage, then perhaps there should be another category for the sport. Perhaps, okay? For whatever sport is there. Perhaps there should be another category. Now, tennis, that probably wouldn't affect the sport of tennis too much. But when you're talking about physical sports like boxing and MMA, nah, probably not. Probably not. Maybe some of the wrestling, some jiu-jitsu that's a little bit different. Grappling, like there's some females that can handle dudes grappling wise. But if they're a dude of equal skill, then nah, that's gonna erase that right there. Because men are more physical. They have more physical prowess. So I just think that it's a sad situation. But if there's a condition called DSD where the gender cannot be solidly placed into male or female, masculine or feminine, then perhaps that should disqualify somebody from competing against people that. And I know that's touchy. But that's neither here nor there. I pray that y'all pray for this woman because it ain't her fault that she was born with a genetic condition that did not allow her to fully develop into a woman, as we would see some of these women out here. That's not her fault. So I pray that y'all pray for her. Y'all pray God's protection over her because we don't need anything happening to that lady. Now, the energy harvesting part, that's very real. Look at how many people have been up in their feelings and wanting. Sometimes we can create things with our thoughts. So you got all these negative thoughts going toward this girl who just laced on the gloves and a headset and went in there to compete where she was allowed to compete. The IOC could have said, nah, you can't compete. Yeah, she would have been sad, but nobody would have known about this. Okay? Yes, she would have been sad, but nobody would have known about this. Number two, again, as you can see on her record, she's lost to other female fighters that are clearly women. So is she this juggernaut that used to be a man and transitioned into a woman? Clearly not. Clearly not. According to the documentation, she is not. So can we pull our energy back, family? Can we pull our energy back? And any negative thoughts that were directed toward that young lady, let's pull them back and let's repent to ourselves for thinking something negative toward this lady. What's up, Hotshot? That's all I'm going to say on that. So I pray nothing happens to this lady because there's a lot of negative thoughts going toward her right now, and that's not cool. But that is exactly what the dark entities on this planet want. That is what they want. They want negative. They want people in negative, low vibrational emotions. What do I always say when I show that scale? The Most High lives up here. Righteousness, the angels live up here in the higher vibrational frequencies. Peace, love, joy, acceptance, enlightenment, all of that good stuff. The lower vibrational entities live in the anger, grief, shame, all of this. Nah. Pull it back, y'all. We got to stay high vibrational. And it is super important at this time that we're living in right now not to give your heart space energy to the dark side. Just like they say in Star Wars all the time. Star Wars, like they say, The Matrix wasn't a film, it was a documentary. Star Wars should have been considered a documentary or an educational piece. Don't give in to the dark side. Pull it back. Now that we know that was not a man that transitioned. Now, if that was a man that transitioned into a woman, then what's good, bro? Because listen, and thank God, the one positive I like to take away from this, the one positive I would like to take away from this is that we are seeing that there are some men out there, contrary to whatever the media likes to show, there are some alpha and sigma males out there that are still about standing up for the ladies and standing up for the kids. So thank God for that. If there's any positive takeaway from this, we got strong men that are about standing up for women, standing up for children, and standing up for righteousness. Righteousness according to religion? No. Righteousness as in doing the right thing, doing what is right. So thank God for that. But fellas, y'all pull it back. Pull it back, fellas. Pull the energy back. That's a woman. It ain't her fault that she was born with DSD. That's not for us. Listen, if the IOC let it go and she was allowed to compete, then when you're training for that fight, you got to put some of the onus on her camp. When you're training for that fight, you got to do your due diligence and say, hey, listen, this is somebody who probably is going to hit like a man, so be prepared, okay? Cover up. Make sure you work on your defense, slipping, all of that. I didn't see any. She slipped a little bit. She showed a little bit of capability to slip punches, but the hands were too low for me. Keep them hands up. Keep them hands up, especially when you're fighting against a taller fighter. Keep them hands up. So anyway, Hot Shot, you're going to have to go back a little bit in this video because I'm getting ready to wrap it up here. But we're talking about the controversy with that women's Olympic boxing fight that just happened between Imame Khelif from Algeria and Angela Carini from Italy, where she quit after 46 seconds into the first round. She quit because she said she shouldn't have to fight somebody who hits that hard or whatever. So that there's been a lot of controversy on it. You can watch the replay when we're done because I'm about to wrap up. So that being said, family, I'm gonna move on over to your vice president. If you're in the United States, your vice president and Democratic presidential hopeful, Kamala Harris. All right, let me show y'all a video here. Let me show y'all a video. Here we go, family. All right, let's turn that volume up. Here we go. Here we go.
Hi, Marlon. So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around. So what you got?
I'm going to play that one more time for y'all, okay?
Hi, Marlon. So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around. So what you got?
Hot Shot, she was not born a man, according to check out the article I read. Like when you watch the replay, you'll see. When you watch the replay, you'll see. And maybe I'll put links to those videos in the description box after this video is over, or maybe I'll put it in the pinned comment. But let me say this. Now, y'all know all the controversy with now, I don't typically talk politics, but this is a little bit of a throwback edition of Maddie's Rap, okay? All right. So now, y'all know the other day that Donald Trump said he didn't know that Kamala was black, right? Black. Y'all know I don't like that term, but for this purpose of this video, I'm going to use it, okay? You know that President Trump or former President Donald Trump said that he didn't know in an interview, he said he didn't know that Kamala was black. He said he always thought that she always identified it as Indian. He said it's awfully convenient. She's, identifying as black right now, okay? Hey, you're welcome, Hot Shot. My pleasure. My pleasure. Now, that being said, y'all know how she identifies, all right? All right? Y'all put it in the comments under the video or put it in the chat. How many people wash greens in a bathtub? You telling me, did you just sit up here and tell us that you wash your greens, you wash your collard greens in the same place where you wash your... Huh, Kamala? Who ate them greens? She said people ask her all the time to make greens. She said one year we had so many greens to wash. She said we washed some greens in the bathtub. Just because she told it herself. See, this is what This is what my parents used to say. They should teach us all the time back in the day. They said, listen, when you're dealing with a liar, just let them talk because they eventually going to tell on themselves. They either going to expose the lie or they going to tell on themselves. I think she did a little bit of both. Okay. I don't know nobody in the history of Negrodom that has ever watched any greens in no bathtub. All right. Now, if she had said, look, I would have given it to her if she said, I had so many greens one year that we washed them in a wash pot. Now, y'all know about that wash pot, okay? Because that's what our grandparents, great-grandparents, that little iron wash pot, that iron tub, that's what they used to like wash clothes and stuff in. That's a little bit different. You know, they got detergent, bleach, all that other stuff. That's different. She said that's almost like the sink, basically. That's almost like the sink, okay? She said she washed them in the bathtub. How did she rinse them? Did she turn the shower on to rinse them? Them greens clean, y'all. Turn that shower on. Let's get out of here. Did she wash them with some ivory soap since you in the bathtub? How you wash your greens, Kamala? You wash your greens in the same place where you wash your... Since you wash them in the bathtub, did you use a washcloth washing your greens? Uh-oh. She said you said you've heard of that before? And in the washing machine. Lord have mercy. Yes, you have to be careful where you eat. Wow. I know people clip their toenails in the bathtub. You got soap scum in the bathtub. You about to give me some soap scummy greens? What if you got pubic hairs in the bathtub? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I guess you got to pick your poison. Do I want my potato salad with raisins in it? Yo, y'all. Okay, well, Allie, you taught me something new. I didn't know. I ain't never met nobody that washed no greens in the bathtub, all right? I ain't never met them. Like I said, great granny them, when they was cooking for a lot of people, they washed them in that iron wash pot. That was a little bit different. That's country people know that. All right, I know I was born in New York, but my family's from down south, so I'm well versed. I'm well versed. I can hop it over here. I can hop it over there. So I understand. Okay. Grandmother's a Southern woman. My mother's a Southern woman. Dad's a Southern man. He's a city boy too. Be a Southern man. You know. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got, man. If y'all see Kamala, listen. This is like the latest version. What was it? What Hillary? Yo, listen, man. What is it with these Democratic female presidential candidates? Hillary pulled out a bottle of hot sauce and told y'all she keep her hot sauce in her pocketbook. If you keep it in your pocketbook, do you at least keep it in a Ziploc bag? Because y'all know that hot sauce get a little bit of hot sauce on the outside of the bottle. And if you eating it with chicken or fish, that hot sauce bottle might be a little greasy. So you like keeping that in your pocketbook, like touching your stuff. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I ain't no Virgo. I know Virgo's like ultra Virgo, sun, moon, rising. They real funny about cleanliness. I ain't no Virgo, but damn, I'm like, still there's a way to do some things, all right? Okay? So y'all stop, man. Yeah, listen, man. I don't know, man. You know what, man? I'm not into politics, but I don't know, man. Maybe I could get me some independent consulting work, consulting with some of these candidates and telling them, let me see what you're gonna tell the people before you get out there. Nah, you can't tell that. Scrap. Nah, let me rewrite it for you. Or the worst. What she said? She said, "Man, you're funny and your book is so good. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all get y'all copy. Thank you. There's a plug. Y'all get y'all copy from Fear to Faith, the Survivor Story. Or if y'all like tea, it's fiction, but it's tea. Get your copy of Stuck in an Elevator. All right. Anyway, she said, twerk to the polls. That's exactly right. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Where's Shannon Sharp when we need him? Like Shannon could have said, no, Kamala, no, I ain't gonna let you do that. Nope, Skip, wait a minute, Skip, you sat right up there, Skip, and said that you was gonna put some hot sauce in your pocketbook, Skip. Then you told Skip, she sat out there and told everybody she watched her green in the bathtub, Skip. Skip, no, Skip, I'm from the country, Skip. I can't eat them greens, Skip. I ain't gonna do it, Skip. Nope, Skip. I ain't eating no green from nobody that watch no greens in the bathtub, Skip. She might as well take them greens out there and give them to the pigs or the hog, put it in the hog slop, Skip. Yo, y'all, let me get out of here. Listen, family, I've enjoyed this this pop-up edition of Maddie's Rap. I thank y'all for watching. Listen, it is 5:29 p.m. Eastern. All right, I'm about to jump off of here because I got to go see my hair braided and get something done with this, y'all. Because it's it's poofing a little bit. It's poofing a little bit. It's hot outside. Y'all know how I do. So anyway, got to get this tied down. But y'all come back tonight. It is 5:29 Eastern. 5:29 p.m. Eastern on Friday, August the 2nd, and I'm gonna be back on here at 8:30 p.m. tonight, and we're gonna be talking about the inconvenient truth about a convenient religion called Judeo-Christianity. Yeah, y'all. The Most High is dismantling some structures as we speak. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So y'all make sure y'all come back to check me out live at 8:30 p.m. right here on Matt's D. Talford for another weekend live edition of Maddie's Rap. Listen, I love y'all. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. If you haven't done so, please on your way out, hit that thumbs up button for me. And make sure if you're new to my channel, you like me and entertained, educated, uplifted, inspired, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell to all so you'll be notified when I'm uploading new content. Because y'all, they tricking on some of these truth channels right now. They're tricking on them. Like, they really tricking. So y'all, and make sure you always, if you got YouTube content creators that are dropping truth nuggets, that are anti-establishments, they don't go with the establishment narrative, make sure you always share that video with one person. Make sure you always share that video with one person, because that's how you help overcome this wicked algorithm. All right? It's like the Matrix, the Sentinels. The Sentinels looking for, what did they say? They dropping truth? Oh, no, let's trick on them numbers. Let's see if we can discourage them from doing content. Y'all help y'all truth channels out, man. Share the videos with one person. All right? I love y'all, man. Listen, I'm going to see y'all back on here tonight. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You got to show it, all right? Love is a verb. It's a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun takes care of itself. I love y'all, family. Peace.